There is a debate in this country over the carbon tax. Does it worry you about Canada's political future as to how that might affect the greater goal of getting to net zero?
That's a very interesting question. It's a very difficult one, a very political one.
Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Serapio. Later this week, the Prime Minister will travel to northern France to attend events in Normandy marking the 80th anniversary of D-Day. The largest amphibious assault ever carried out in history, the invasion also saw 14,000 Canadian soldiers storm Juno Beach and help bring about the end to Nazi Germany. It is a day that will be filled with solemnity and also a day to reflect on the enduring relationship between Canada and France, a relationship that leaders in both countries hope to build upon in the coming years. It's something I recently talked about with the French ambassador to Canada, Michel Miraillet, and here now is our conversation in Profile. You know, as you and I sit today, Canada, France, Europe, all are preparing to mark the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. And I've never been to Normandy, but every Canadian...
Shame on you.
Well, perhaps that will change in future. But every Canadian I speak to who's gone to D-Day ceremonies in Normandy always talk about the great outpouring of affection that Canadians receive from French citizens. What motivates that affection to this day?
Well, I would say that the recognition of the role of those 1,063 soldiers who died on the Juno Beach, those 27,000 soldiers who just came to fight the Nazis. They didn't know the French, most of them. They didn't know France, but they decided to go and to fight for liberty. And I must say that, Canadians are very popular in my country. I mean, there's a kind of recognition of a link to, of course, to the language, to the French language, but more than that, recognize ourselves in the dignity of these people, in the frankness, in the character. And I think that those ceremonies that will take place on the 6th of June on Juno Beach, but moreover in Normandy, where President Macron will chair them, the ceremonies, President Biden will be there, and of course Prime Minister Trudeau will be here. And on Juno Beach specifically, there will be a ceremony with Prime Minister Trudeau, as well as my Prime Minister, Mr. Gabriel Attal, who was there very recently. So I think that, there's a very strong link, and a strong link built not only in history, but also, unfortunately, through blood.
You mentioned the Prime Minister of France, Prime Minister Attal. He just assumed office earlier in the year. His first foreign trip was to Canada.
Absolutely.
Why the choice of Canada?
I would say for many reasons. The first one is that we have an obligation, in a sense, which is that the relationship, we have an alternate Prime Minister meetings between France and Canada and France and Quebec. This even didn't took place since 2018, and it was really, we had a need to organize it. But it's, for Gabriel Attal, Canada just ring a bell. We share, the same values in terms, and in these present times of Russian aggressions on Ukraine, when the war is back in Europe. To have a country with which we can share, the same values, the dedication to freedom, dedication to human rights, but also, where we have the same interest in developing university links, education, higher education, a new vision of we have the same vision of a society where human being is at the center, And this is very different from the systems, the vision of the Chinese or the Russian society, So I think for Gabriel Attal, it was, the right moment to go there. And and to exchange. And I think I leave that judgment to you, but I think it was a huge success.
Mm-hmm. Well, the two prime ministers did issue a joint communique, and a number of things to talk about in that communique. But first and foremost was this unwavering commitment to promote the French language and French culture. And to that, I'm wondering what you think of Canada's recently updated Official Languages Act. What's your assessment of the measures and the intent of this act?
Well, it's not me to make a judgment on the Canadian policy. I mean, but I think what we see is a direct interest. You know, my president asked me to develop the French education system. I was in charge of that in my previous capacities. We have more than 535 French international schools funded by the French government abroad, with a unique system where you can learn French in Canada. If you're expatriate to the Philippines, you will be, I mean, your kid will follow the same program. I mean, our best clients is the Canadian Diplomatic Corps, of course. But I think it's a very influential thing. We see Canada as a place where we need to continue. I mean, when I've been 3 or 4 times in Saskatchewan, we need to develop the education in French. I mean, you know, the language is not only the language. It's also a vision of society through literature, through philosophy, through history. And I think that the question is not a fight against the English language. I mean, that would be stupid. What we see is an offensive bilingualism, you know, in order to give the opportunity to all those kids who are educated in English, I mean, to catch something else and to add to their skills, I mean, something else and maybe another vision. It's not only a language. So, I mean, what we intend to do is to try to develop the schools. In Atlantic Canada, we will open a school next year in Halifax. And we are doing it with the help of the Lebanese community. You know, and it should be a driver for Halifax, which is a growing city. So we need to develop the French art visions and to give not to force people to come, but to give them the opportunity if they want to make that choice for their kids to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the promotion of French language, French culture is a commonality that the both prime ministers were able to identify. But of course, while the Prime Minister Attal was in Canada, he also addressed the Quebec legislature and in some ways brought up the secularism law in Quebec, because as you know, many groups have turned to the Supreme Court of Canada asking them to rule on the constitutionality. Yet your Prime Minister, when he made the speech to the Quebec legislature, he criticized those who would, and this is loose translation, those who would have us believe that secularism is a form of discrimination. Is the secularism law in Quebec a sticking point between Ottawa and Paris?
No. No, I mean, these are very fundamental differences of perception. You know, for us, I mean, you can't talk, I mean, the French laws forbid you to, I mean, raise the question of race, religion, I mean, and you have to live in a city. This is religion and is for your private garden, your secret garden. Don't try to impose it. Don't try to impose it, you know, in your social life. This is very different. You know, I have a very personal experience when I had my first kids in the US, I mean, where the situation is totally similar to Canada. The first thing I get a paper, people ask me what was my race. It was a shame. You need to, I mean, I know that Canadians don't understand that some of them don't understand that. But for us, I mean, we still remind our constitutions. The 1789 Declaration on the Civil Rights. I mean, this is, I mean, we are equal, free and equal. So why do you ask me that question? So for the moment, it's not an issue. For it has not been an issue between, I mean, it's a long case. We know that we have different systems, but it doesn't prevent us to consider that, I mean, this is not the kind of things we need to talk about, religion or race. I mean, this is for a secret garden.
One other area of commonality has to do with business, because the Mouvement des Entreprises de France did sign an agreement with the Business Council of Canada. Together they'll develop a France-Canada Business Council. What do you hope comes out of this new body?
A lot. I think that, it's on one hand having, very strong commitments from governments is something. But in the day-to-day relationship, companies, entrepreneurs, they have to do it. And they need to organize themselves. And what is very interesting is that between the two countries, we have some new commonalities, a very direct interest in cooperating on the nuclear energy. I mean, we are buying our uranium, not in Niger, as some people may say, but we are our best provider is Canada. We are exploiting in the north of Saskatchewan, with Orano and Cameco, huge mine. So we need to continue, but our value chains are totally interrelated. We have a lot of things in the aeronautics. We have a lot of interest in IA. Our companies, Thales and others, smaller companies are working. We see, the jewel of the crown in this country are the universities. We see, and the links in innovation. There's no other countries except maybe the US or Europe. So we see a direct interest, and our companies, SMEs, but also big names need to invest more and more. So I use the word, it's a new frontier before for French, but by many aspects, it's also a new frontier for us. And I think that you need to give the private sector, a place where, you can direct this dynamism in the right places. The French, the Canadians, the Canadian pension funds are also interested in investing in France.
And yet, for all this enthusiasm, the French Senate did vote down. They did not approve the Canada-European Free Trade Agreement. Are you concerned by that? Should Canadians be concerned by the French Senate not approving the deal?
I don't think so. I will tell you, I think this was a decision made in the Senate for just internal politics. This has nothing to do with the reality. Or since the CETA was put in place, our external trades, our bilateral external trade, had just exploded by 35% in 6 years. And we can do more, and we will do more. So, it's difficult to explain to people, but in our political system, the Senate is more a kind of the chamber for opposition, and this was unfortunately used by some political parties, to counter the government. It's their right, but it's also, on the other hand, denying the reality of economics, even for farmers. We are selling more beef and far more beef to Canada than we accept in France from Canada. So I'm not worried about. And if you remember the exchanges and the press conference between my Prime Minister, Prime Minister Trudeau, they were totally online, and they understood. It's regrettable, but we need to give time to time. And I have no doubt that we will settle that, and we will. And for the moment, we continue with the support of the Commission to implement this agreement on this so-called provisionary period. So, no problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, to that, Canada and France have agreed to cooperate on innovation and scientific research. And a key goal here is to further develop hydrogen technologies. Why has France turned to Canada when it comes to hydrogen?
Because it's a place where, you have some technology, you develop it. It's also a place where, we are in a very different position than the German one. The Germans, they said no to nuclear energy, and now they are prisoner of non-carbonated, or they continue to use coal, and they produce far more dioxide. This is really an issue in Europe. Now, what we see with the Germans, they want to import hydrogen. We don't need it because of our nuclear park, And so what we are looking for is to try to see with Canada how we can, because we have some huge companies and with a lot of innovation, how we can all together build the base of a new cooperation in trying to build a new technology. I will give you an example. You know that the French group Alstom bought Bombardier Railway. The day we will find the new technologies to develop new engines, and to have, around the railways tracks, hydrogen production facilities, maybe thanks to small and modular reactors in the future. The day we will find the technology to produce the machine with a powerful machine, the market is 30,000 engines for Bombardier Alstom. You see what I mean? So, it means that hydrogen will replace those awful diesel engines for the future. So, we have there, you see the interest that we can see with Air Liquide, with other, or with Alstom, Bombardier, with other companies, linked also to the energy producers, the interaction between nuclear energy coming back and hydrogen is there. So that's an issue of interest. We are not interested by importing huge quantity of hydrogen. This is not for us the priority.
Mm-hmm. All this technology, of course, goes to the greater effort to create a greener environment, to scale back greenhouse gases. But right now, there is a debate in this country over the carbon tax. Does it worry you about Canada's political future as to how that might affect the greater goal of getting to net zero?
That's a very interesting question. It's a very difficult one, a very political one. You know that Europe is really attached to the carbon tax because you need to force people to change your mindsets. And it's true that in this country, and not everybody has realized that on one hand you may say we need to diminish our emissions, and on the other hand, some people are just telling me they want to build SMRs in order to get the oil from the oil sands. I think that now, on the carbon tax, people are just looking at very short term, the fact that they may have to pay a tax, and they don't see the future. In a country like Canada, where energy was cheap, abundant, to restrict yourselves is something people are not ready to do. And this is the strength of the political echelon. You need to tell people you have to do it, otherwise at the end of the tunnel you will find a wall. And this is for you, the next generations. So I fully understand that some may consider that it's a good issue in order to push people to react against the government, some blah blah. But it's a very short-term thing, We in France, in Europe, people are committed to do it because we need. it's the only way to reduce, the old habits, old and bad habits of consumptions of energy. Are you ready to do it? The real question, and I don't want to put my finger in your internal politics, but you understand what I mean. This is a very critical moment. Sometimes it is the responsibility of political parties to think about the future and the responsibilities for the next generations. So, you cannot make some choice at short term. It's one thing. I can understand that when you are a politician. But the responsibility, the sense of this country commands for me to think about it twice.
Mm-hmm. I'm quickly running out of time, so I'm going to fast forward a bit on some of the questions. Because before we're done, I also want to ask your opinion on security. Of course, Russia has brought war to the footstep of Europe with its invasion of Ukraine. Canada has stepped up to help Ukraine. Has Canada done enough?
Canada has done a lot. Canada has done a lot, and what is absolutely fundamental is the support of Canada and its Ukrainian community to, the global movement, the G7 global movement, and then within NATO. The main question is just in terms of deliveries. Canada committed itself to give more ammunitions, but Canada just realized that it has estimated the needs for defense for years. And it's not this government, it starts with Mr. Harper's government, because the situation was far quieter. And preparing a defense is a huge effort. And you have to explain to people that you need to pay more taxes to guarantee your defense, and you need to be abroad also, and to continue. Canada for years had a long reputation of committing in peacekeeping operations, be prepared, within NATO. This has disappeared. So, I think that I'm quite confident that there's a new wake-up call now. Whatever the parties on the need to do more, to react, you have a decent, you have been very helpful in training. This is, since the World War I, Canada has been an exceptional training center, and if the Ukrainian army resisted to the Russian push 2 years ago, it was just, of course, because thousands of Ukrainian soldiers were trained in this country. So, Canada can do more, France can do more. We will try to do it. We have some ideas, we shared ideas about it. And the NATO summit in Washington on the 10th of July will be certainly the opportunity to go further on that line. I'm quite confident. There's something very similar between the two countries. The will to act and the will to defend freedom.
Mm-hmm. Well, in addition to NATO, there will also be a meeting between President Macron and Prime Minister Trudeau at some point this year. That was communicated in the release from the two prime ministers. And it will not only be a meeting between the heads of government, but also of ministers. This first time ever Franco-Canadian Council of Ministers. What is the hope of that meeting?
To continue to build not a decent relationship, but an exceptional relationship in every field. When you see Mr. Champagne, you see that he wants to do more in terms of critical materials. We want to do more in terms of developing our commonalities in nuclear energy. We need to do more in education and training in higher educations. I want to see more Canadian students coming to France. The recognition of common diplomas. We have a lot of issues. We have also some direct interest in terms of defense for the future. So there's a long in terms of investment, in projects in Canada or in France. I mean, attractions. We feel at ease with Canadians. You see what I mean? So, it's a real partner. It's a partner. You are in the G7, in the G20, in NATO, in the Francophonie organization, in OECD. We are partners.
Is this a renaissance between Canada and France?
It may be. The global environmental issues, but the Ukrainian war has also its importance there.
And that was my conversation with the French ambassador to Canada, Michel Miraillet. I'm Michael Serapio. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again on the next profile right here on CPAC.